Hello, my name is Inos and welcome back to my channel. This is Work and Wonder. If this is your first time, please make sure you click on the subscription button and turn on the notification bell. Anytime I post a video, you'll be notified and you come straight here and take a look at whatever video that I have posted. So we are still on the Mental Health OSCE series, and today I'm coming your way with another skill station. So basically in the Mental Health OSCE, we have 6 skill stations, and out of these 6 skill stations, you'll only be doing 4 of them, which makes it quite easier than the adult nursing. I have 2 videos on the skill stations. I have a video for the talking therapy and a video for reminiscence therapy. If you have not seen those my videos, please make sure you go back and watch those videos. So today I'm adding another one, which is the de-escalation. In fact, de-escalation is the simplest skill station that you ever get in the mental health OSCE. And one good thing about this particular station is that even though it's a skill station, but it is a written station. So you are given a scenario, you read a scenario, and then if you know your marking criteria, you just use your marking criteria and then you write in the booklet or the answer booklet that will be given to you. So all you need to know is your marking criteria. So we are quickly going to go through the marking criteria, which I have here. You can also see that on your screen. So basically we have about 16 steps. And when you are writing, it needs to be in bullet points. So bullet number 1, 2, 3, up to 16. When we say bullet, you're not going to use Roman numerals. No, you're using the 1, 2, 3, the normal 1, 2, 3, the normal 1, 2, 3 that we know. So you just use bullet. Either you use strikes or you can use asterisks, and then that will be your bullet point. So let's start. The very first item on the marking criteria is you gain consent before entering the patient room. Then the second one is you consider whether the physical environment is safe for self and then the person as well. Then you have to introduce yourself, which is the third point. The fourth one is you make sure your body language is non-threatening and then it's relaxed. And then the fifth one is your voice should be calm, the tone and then volume should be low. 6 is that the speech should be clear and kind. 7 is that place self at eye level or below, establish eye contact without unnecessary staring or avoid staring. Then the eighth one is that you allow person time to share their concerns, show empathy. The ninth one is you use open-ended questions. The 10th one is you use active listening, acknowledge the person's concerns using reflective language and validation. 11th one is you offer answers to specific questions where able. The 12th is repeat content of conversation as needed. And then 13 is use distraction technique using information of person's interest. 14 is you recap areas discussed prior to ending the intervention. And then the 15, you should appropriately end the intervention. And of course, the 16 is write clearly and legibly. So that is the marking criteria. And then you will always be given a scenario where you would use your marking criteria and address it. So when we say de-escalation, it's all about a patient who is agitated, a patient who is angry, and as you, the nurse on duty, you basically go in to calm the patient down or to talk to the patient to de-escalate that particular situation that the person is. If the person is angry, by the time you are done with the person, at least the person should be calm. If the person was angry, the person should be a bit calmer. So that's all about de-escalation. So if you see, it's basically the steps you take to de-escalate the person. That is what they need from you. So when they give you a scenario, you have to use this marking criteria and then you write it out for them. So I'm going to show you an example that I crafted, a scenario that I crafted, and then we'll try to use the marking criteria and then we would write something for it. So the scenario I have here is that Mr. John normally goes out on grounds leave every day at 10 a.m. to see the rabbit in the field. As usual, he wants to go on his grounds leave today, but the nursing assistant says that he cannot because it is heavily snowing. Mr. John is angry and slams the door, going straight to his room. As the nurse on duty de-escalates the situation with Mr. John, and he says that write your answers in bullet point in the answer booklet that is provided. So this is a scenario that has been given you. You might get something that is similar to this. It could be anything that is making the patient angry. In this situation, you can see that he normally goes out on grounds leave under probably section 17 of the Mental Health Act. So he goes out every 10 a.m. to go and see the rabbits in the field. But on this day, it was heavily snowing, and then the nursing assistant is saying that Mr. John, you cannot go out. But Mr. John doesn't understand that and slams the door and is angry because they are saying that he cannot. go out. So if this is a situation or this is a scenario that is given you in your exams, how do you answer that? Basically, you just go into your marking criteria and all you do is that here you personalize it. So for instance, the first item on the marking criteria says that gain consent before entering the room. So all you are going to do is that you write, I will gain consent before entering Mr. John's room. That will be your first bullet point. Now you go to the second one. The second one is going to be that I will consider that the physical environment is safe for me and Mr. John. And then if the nursing assistant was part of you going into the room, you have to add the nursing assistant. So I'll consider that the environment is safe for myself, for the nursing assistant, and Mr. John. And you are done with what? The second point. Now you go to the third one. The third one is I will introduce myself to Mr. John, or I'll introduce myself to John. Now let's go to the fourth point. Body language is non-threatening and relaxed. So I will make sure that my body language is non-threatening and is relaxed. So I'll make sure my body is relaxed and non-threatening. Now let's go to the fifth one, which talks about voice. I will speak in a calm voice. I'll make sure my tone and volume is low. As simple as that. I will speak in a calm voice. I'll make sure the tone and volume is low. Now let's go to the sixth one. The sixth one is speech. So I will speak in a very clear and I will show kindness, or I'll make sure my speech is clear and is kind. As simple as that. Now let's go to the seventh one, which is I'll place myself at Mr. John's eye level and establish eye contact without unnecessarily staring or without staring. Now you are done with your 7th point. Let's go to the 8th one. The 8th one is I will allow Mr. John time to voice out or to share his concerns, and I'll show empathy when needed. You are done with the 8th point. Now let's go to the 9th point. I will use open-ended questions. As simple as that. Now we'll go to the 11th one, which says that I will offer answers to specific questions that Mr. John will ask, or I'll give Mr. John specific answers to his questions that he would ask. Then the 12th one is I'll repeat the content of the conversation as many as needed. Then when you go to the 13th one, I will use distraction technique using information of the person's interest. In this case, you would realize that in the scenario, it was stated that he is going out to go and see the rabbit. So here you can be very specific with the distraction method. So you can say that I would offer a television show of rabbit to serve as a distraction for Mr. John. So here you are being very specific with the type of distraction or diversional therapy that you are using. You are going to show rabbits on the television, which is going to more or less be like a substitute for Mr. John going to the field to see the rabbit. Now let's go to the 14th. I'll recap areas as discussed prior to ending the intervention. So you recap all or everything that you have discussed with Mr. John in that regard. Then the 15th point, which will be the last one, is that I will appropriately end the intervention and address any questions that Mr. John has. And then you are done with the de-escalation. As simple as that. So you realize that if only you know your marking criteria, then it's going to be very, very simple for you. All you need to do is to read the scenario, know the patient's name, and then you know what is actually causing the patient to be angry or to be agitated. And when you get to the distraction technique, you can look for something that you can use to substitute. And then once you use that to substitute, it's going to serve as a diversional therapy for whichever patient that you are addressing his situation. And this is a 10-minute station, so there is more than enough time. If only you know your marking criteria, you can even use about 4 minutes or 5 minutes to finish this station. All you need to do is to remember your marking criteria, make use of the name in the scenario and what is causing the patient to be agitated or to be angry, and then you can address that in the 14th or in the 13th point, which talks about the diversional therapy. And then you are done, as simple as that. So basically, that is de-escalation. It's a skill station, all right, but it is actually a written station. 10 minutes, and within that 10 minutes, you should be able to finish everything here in the marking criteria. So that is de-escalation as a skill station in the mental health OSCE. My name is Enos and this is Work and Wonder. If this is your first time, please make sure you subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell, and anytime I post a video, you would be notified. I still have videos on the assessment station Mania, which I'll be posting in the coming week. And then I will also have videos on the rest of the skill stations as well as the planning, implementation, and evaluation. So just make sure you subscribe to the channel, and anytime I post a video in any of these stations, you'll be notified and you come straight here and take a look at whatever video that I have posted. Until I see you in my next video, it's a bye for now.